Loyal till you die. And I've been looking at the stars for a long, long time. I've been putting out fires all my life. Everybody wants a flame, they don't want to get burned. And today is our turn. Days like these lead to nights like this, lead to love like ours. You light the spark in my bonfire heart. People like us, we don't need that much. Just someone that starts the spark in our bonfire hearts. This world is getting colder, strangers passing by. No one offers you a shoulder, no one looks you in the eye. But I've been looking at you for a long, long time, just trying to break through, trying to make you mine. Everybody wants a flame, they don't want to get burned. Well, today is our turn. Days like these lead to nights like this, lead to love like ours. You light the spark in my bonfire heart. People like us, we don't need that much. Just someone that starts the spark in our bonfire hearts. Our bonfire hearts. Our bonfire hearts. Our bonfire hearts. You light the spark. People like us, we don't need that much. Just someone that starts the spark in our bonfire hearts. Days like these lead to nights like this, lead to love like ours. You light the spark in my bonfire heart. People like us, we don't need that much. Just
All right. Hey, good morning. Good to see everybody here. We'll get started in just a moment.
our bonfire hearts. Days like these lead to nights like this, lead to
Make sure you got some water,
you light the spark
notebook.
in my bonfire heart. People like us, we don't need that much. Just someone that starts the spark in our bonfire hearts.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me get this over to YouTube so you will have a conversation of it. Saturday Mastermind Discipline. All right. And there we go, live over there. Hey, before we get started, I wanted to have us go through a little bit of a mental process because, how do I say it nicely? You're about to get smacked. And it's not that it's the content is abrasive or the messaging or the presentation is going to be a full frontal assault on you. There'll be a lot of mental awarenesses. And that's the part that gets us frustrated, is when we start to combat ourselves. So, with that being the case and the potential, I've been doing this for 4 decades. I want to walk you through a little bit of a meditation. And it doesn't have to be, we're not going into the sanctuary or anything like that. It's just I want you to just calm yourself for just a moment. I want you to bring yourself to a certain awareness and just be present. I want you to take your fingers and I want you to do this, right? Just do this with each hand. And then do it backwards. I want you to stop all the outside noise. Maybe this made you, what are we doing this for? At least you were focused on this for just a moment. See, that's discipline. Discipline is the ability to give yourself an order and follow it. Now, what we're going to talk about over the course of this conversation is, why is it that we set goals that we know will serve us, that are good for us, good for those we love, good for many around us in our world, and we sabotage ourselves? That's discipline. It's not sabotage. It is not sabotage. Okay. So, and a couple of things while we go through this, if you hear something or you have an aha, write it down, right? If you got a question and it's just, it challenges everything about you, interrupt me. This isn't, this isn't here. I'm not doing a keynote presentation where the audience, they paid me $25,000 to come stand in front of you and your community. This is Sean, rancher in Arkansas, who's done fairly well and has got some keen insights on the brain and the body. And that's me. So if you got a question or something jumps up at you, or you're like, hey, you feel a resistance, a huge resistance, say, resistance, or hey, question. The other thing I want you to do is, if you have an aha and it inspires you, activate it. And the way we activate it is we say the word bonus. You can just interrupt. Bonus. Do you know what it takes to say bonus when you feel good about something? Just practice it. Unmute your mic and just say bonus. It's going to feel weird. You can say it at any time. I'm not pausing for it. Just unmute your mic and say
bonus.
There you go. And I would encourage all of you to do it, because if you're not doing it, there's a part of you that's resisting your own success. Just saying.
Bonus.
There you go. I'm just saying all of this to say, beware of the clues of how you got here. You didn't get to this point because you said, I want to wake up one Saturday and I want to feel good. I want to be alive. I want to be better than most and not as good as some. But why do I need to still learn discipline? I'm 30 years old. I'm 40 years old. I'm 50 years old and I got to learn discipline. I'm 60 years old and I got to learn discipline. I'm 70 years old. The heck am I doing having to learn discipline? We're going to get into that. So I just want you to be aware. This will have some emotions. I want you to have this idea of possibility. Okay. So I first want you to, before we get started, many of you have seen this. Let me just get a new note card. I'm using my sophisticated PowerPoint screen and technology. I'm using AI right now. So I want you to, I have a 3x5 card. That's my AI. I want you to have a little square big enough that you can write, but many of you know what this is. This is the potential square, right? So I want you to write a big P, top left-hand corner. Now it's probably the right-hand corner for you, but if I look at it, it looks like the top left-hand corner still on the screen, right? So top left-hand corner, P, stands for potential. Potential. Top right-hand corner, I want you to write A. Stands for action. Stands for action. Potential, potential, action. Below the A, write an R. Stands for results. Stands for result. And then over on the bottom below potential, I want you to write a B, stands for beliefs. Now, here's how the formula typically goes.
Can you please repeat that?
Sure. Potential, right? Potential drives action. What potential, what percentage of potential is available to you to understand discipline? How much discipline potential do you have? 100%. Then we got to decide what actions we're going to be taking, to improve our discipline. And then our actions drive our results, right? Well, the actions we take, results that we put into effort, right? We put in effort and we get a result. So results then drive our beliefs. This is belief. So this is the potential square, the potential quadrant. The challenge is that we typically never work on this one. I'm circling in red to give you a clue. We don't work on this one enough, the beliefs. And the reason that we struggle with our beliefs is because of our discipline. Discipline is what drives everything. Right? How many of you eat at regular hours? You eat at regular hours and your body's a little bit healthier. Those of people who have some sugar challenges, I speak from a little bit of experience. If you eat at all irregular hours, your body's like with insulin going, I don't know what's going on. I got no clue. So I want you to imagine right here, beliefs. What is your belief about discipline? I want you to write it down. I want you to write it down. What is your belief about discipline? Discipline in and of itself, discipline as a standalone. If I were to say define discipline, what does that mean? What does discipline mean to you? If I were to ask Webster, let me just Google it real quick because I didn't do this. Definition of discipline. Wow. Okay. So this is probably why we resisted so much. I'm going to copy it and put it in the chat. Chat. Here's the definition of discipline. Not he practice. I missed the T when I copied it. The practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. I want more of that, please. Do you think maybe discipline is when we got in trouble with our parents? It's what we did to our kids. That kid's not disciplined. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say, well, I'm sitting in an audience. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say, wow, they're a millionaire. They're disciplined. So just on your sheet of paper where you're taking notes, generally speaking, yeah, not even close to what I wrote down. Louise, I'd love to hear, would you share what you wrote down?
Sure, be happy
what is
to.
it? Would you share? Would you write down?
Well, I wrote when you were talking about discipline, immediately I went to consistency and the moving forward in a consistent and decided manner, deciding what the habits will be, the
Okay.
discipline of, practicing that which is going to move me forward. That actually has always been my definition. I've never actually looked at it the way that.
Okay. So let me ask you this, right? So this is, I have permission to help, right?
Yes.
Uncomfortable
Oh, totally.
and take you out of the uncomfortable feeling.
Absolutely.
Based upon what you just said, that sounds like a pretty awesome definition, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds like it would be a freaking wonderful thing to have tons of, right?
Yes.
Then that's not the definition you're using.
Bonus, ouch, bonus.
Right? I mean, think about it. You're a smart,
I hear
brilliant
you loud
woman.
and clear.
If so, that's a mask. Tell me what really discipline means. Tell me that's what you'd like it to be. Tell me what it means to you. Why do you not do that? Why do you avoid that level of discipline? Because it has to mean something else. Y'all pay attention to this. This is a master class that Louise is giving us. Y'all follow this? Drop a 1 if this is making sense, because I really need you to participate in this, because some of you are on the same exact page. You have this discipline. Well, discipline is me achieving my goals and me moving forward and me having focus. Well, if that was a freaking case, then you'd be doing it. Why are you not disciplined? Because that's not the definition you have inside. That's your that's why I'm putting on my clothes. I'm looking good. Discipline is you getting dressed up and me getting dressed up in a tux, bow tie, tying my own bow tie, not a clip on, tying my own bow tie, having my studs, having my shirt pressed, having the cummerbund on, having a little funny, goofy tie that's got a chick and a magnet, and it's a chick magnet. All the while, I'm $1 million in debt. And people are like, man, that's a cool, but there's just something there's something off about them. It's because the discipline I have that I brought with me isn't the definition that's running me versus the outside coat of paint I put on to cover up my crappy discipline.
Wow.
This is what happens when we go, something's off about them. I like them. They're a good speaker. They're this, they're that, but just, I don't know. It's because it's not your belief. It's not your faith. It's not your commitment. It's not your definite major it is your discipline. It is the end all be all of what drives everything in our body. It's the way you eat. How many of us have, I don't know, I'm going to go back to the 1950s. How many of us put on girdles to try to, or the more modern version, Spanx? Anybody know anybody who does Spanx to push that little jelly belly around and tighten it up? Billion-dollar company. Billion-dollar company.
Oh my gosh. So Sean, I'm saying the words, but I have no belief behind it.
Not an unannounced. You are, listen, here's the difference.
Damn it.
Attention. I know, pay attention. Everybody pay attention right now. You have belief. I'm sorry, take it back. I take it back. I'm gonna Willy Wonka this. You have inspiration in your words. You have no belief in your words. It's why it comes out hollow. It's where the stuttering comes from.
Yes. I'm going to ask a how question.
Sure, please.
How do I bridge that?
Excellent. Dry yourself off different when you get out of the shower.
And okay.
Yeah. You think it's got to be some magical, I got to get better at my business. Pick up a pen. Pick up a pen and hold it in front of you.
Yes. Okay.
Is the pen in front of you?
Yes. Hang on. I'll put on my video.
Okay.
Yes.
That's discipline. Why is it so hard? The discipline was you had a decision, you took action, you did it, and you have a result. The pen is in front of you. Why is that rocket science? Because there was no emotion to this. Pick up the phone, call 3 people. Why are we making it such a challenge? I'm going to go through a whole presentation on discipline. I just want us to understand our GPS starting point. I know, Dubby. Tell Louise she's disciplined. She's got the skills. When you wanted to
Dubby.
pet Dublin, did you pet him?
In my heart.
No, I mean when you were here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so but that wasn't part of your schedule. You broke protocol. Discipline was when the environment showed up. You said, "I'm going to be nice to Dublin." That was discipline. We make this
Wow.
like I gotta run an aircraft carrier of people. Discipline is you say it and you do it. Here's the true definition of discipline that was told to me by Mark Victor Hansen. It's when the emotion of the decision is gone, we still do the action. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm with them, and I'm sitting next to Louise. I'm sitting next to Ruth, and Silka's over there, and AJ's down at the end of the table, and I'm going to do this every day. And soon as you all leave, so does my discipline. We're in the month of what? April? You know what every bride who's getting married in June is being disciplined about right now? Just take a wild guess. What do you think a bride that's
Weight loss.
What's that?
Weight loss.
How could you guess that? What are you anticipating, saying, believing that why do they want to why is their focus weight loss and fitness and health, and why skin? Why? Because they got a deadline. You know, there's a whole industry called sweating into your dress. There's a whole marketing program, sweating into your dress.
Oh my gosh.
There's a whole bunch of coaches that say, buy the dress 2 sizes too small. Buy the dress 2 sizes too small. So, is it okay that we understand you now have a new perspective of discipline?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Because it'll make what you're about to hear.
Starting.
It'll make what you're about to hear non-threatening. See, the challenge with listening to a disciplined conversation is it's threatening. What's it threatening to? How could a conversation about discipline be threatening? If Louise becomes as disciplined as she has the capability and capacity to be, what happens to Louise?
She has dinner at Sean O'Donnell's on the 7th of May.
And when's the last time you did that?
I've never done that before.
Okay, so now you're going to
But
go
I've
do
been
something.
writing I've been there every day.
Excellent. But so discipline says you've never done it, so why try? Is there any pain in not going to Sean O'Donnell's? I mean, other than the fact that
yes,
we have our set up, but for most people, when they set a goal, is there any pain for them not achieving it?
probably not.
Until the pain is there, is that what they achieve it, right? I got more month than money. I got rent due. Well, you're going to get evicted. I'll pay the rent. I'll figure out how to pay the rent. How many of you have dreams due? Ooh, snap. I told you listen, I love you. I'm not here to be jerkamungus, but I'm really going to sound like a major first class disciplined jackhole. Because you know all of this and you don't want it to be exposed. The challenge goes back right to here. Our belief about our discipline. Silka, I see your hand is up.
Thank you, Sean.
You bet.
Yes, discipline. The way I look at it was probably a little different, but maybe not. To do things consistently that you don't want to do. I mean, I have no problem doing things I want to do.
That makes you, wow, you're an alien.
What I have problems with doing things consistently that I or being disciplined enough. But that's how I see being disciplined enough to do the things daily that are boring.
Nice.
I literally I can't stand boring.
Okay.
And there are so many little things. Yes. So how would I change that? Because I've seen it. I mean, I have seen figure skaters. My daughter used to be a figure skater. In order to get a jump, they do it over and over and over and over and over again. And
Right.
that's being disciplined.
Well,
Because-
so yes, couple of things. It's being disciplined, but it's also creating muscle memory. Right? And what I mean by that is here a couple of things that you shared that might be some eye-opening, right? If we believe that words have power and our thoughts can influence us and our day, what if you simply changed the action that needs to be done instead of boring? The simple word boring. I don't like to do boring. Then we need to change the way you look at things. It's no
Okay.
longer boring because
idea. Bonus.
because if you know those things, that repetitive, do it like a do you ever see where they do fundraising and every time they add one, they raise the bar inside the thermometer, they get $10, $5, $15, and we're almost to our $100 goal, right? What if every time, right? Bob Proctor used to say, do the thing until you don't have to do the thing. Do it it becomes natural. Here's the thing. You probably brush your teeth, right?
Well, of course.
Isn't it boring? Brushing your teeth? I mean, do you have new teeth every day? It's like, oh, a new tooth. I get to brush a new tooth. Do you
No,
comb
but-
your hair? Do you brush your hair every day? Most days.
No, I brush my hair every day as well. Yes, but I mean that's just part of your hygiene.
Well,
That's what
but
you
that's
were
part of
taught
your
when you were
success.
little.
Listen. You're using it. You're saying the right things. So build your success. That's just part of my success. They seem like boring things.
I was what just popped into my mind, eating in a certain way. We taught very little to eat with knife and fork.
Right.
And it's like second nature now, but I'm sure when I was little it wasn't that easy. But I had to do it over and over again because my mother would slap me if I did not eat properly, because in Germany table manners are huge. So that just
Absolutely.
popped in my head.
So, do you smoke?
No, I don't
No,
smoke.
but aren't there people that smoke every day?
Yes,
And
but
that's a
they
habit.
enjoy
It's-
it. They
and that's
enjoy it.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you go to the bathroom regularly? I mean, do you use the bathroom inside or outside?
But depends where I am, I guess.
My point is that you have a discipline that is adaptable, is functional, and is capable. So look at the things that you do that are brushing your hair, washing your face, putting on makeup or fixing your putting on clothes. Those are things that are just you don't even think about them. So how do we get the habitual actions to rewire ourselves from boring to fundamental success? Because once you get the boring down, knife and fork, you don't have to go. If I handed you a knife and fork here at the ranch, it's like, what are these? I've never used a knife and fork here.
It just
You're like-
something just popped in my head.
Yes, I love things popping in your head. It's like popcorn.
It's like popcorn. I think what the issue is, but I'm not disciplined to do things that don't have an immediate benefit, that I can't see, like the teeth clean, the hair look nice. So because you were just mentioning that. Now, if I have to reach out, say, to 50 people, there is no immediate benefit to me.
Okay,
And
so
I think
how
that's
would you
what
how would you make it an immediate benefit?
if they were all saying, yes, I'm going to
Okay,
start
but
up
hang
right
on.
now, then I would keep.
Sure, but the good news is what if we change the desire of the result to simply in the beginning doing the jump? That's not going to work. The first time your daughter did her jump, she landed on her butt. Right? And then she did it again, and that maybe she didn't land when it gave her encouragement. So when you go do your 50, go, I'm doing 50. I'm not tied to the results. I want to have 50 check marks. That's my immediate result. I did it. I want to say I did it. I'm not tied to the results. So we're saying you're going to go learn Taekwondo. Do you know Taekwondo?
No,
No. So if
I
I
would have
said,
liked
listen,
to learn it,
oh,
but
I know, but if you wanted to go become a black belt Taekwondo, I don't even know if they have black belts, so nobody go,
I'm
oh,
sure they
that's
do.
right. So imagine
I'm
if I
sure
said,
they
okay, we're going to go learn Taekwondo. I want you to be black belt at the end of the day. Impossible.
do.
You
Yes.
can go get a black belt. You can be fake. You can be all this stuff. So what I would do is I would ramp up. I would do your first week. I would do 10. I'm on my way to 50. I did 10 every day. Look at that. I got evidence. I did 10. What's the results? Don't care right now. I'm getting better. I'm doing 10 a day, 10 a day, 10 a day. I did 50 in a week. I
But see,
did 50 in a week.
see, that's the thing. Then I've done all this, and I feel that I've wasted my time if there was no result to
Well,
it.
because you're setting up your energy going, nobody's going to do this. I'm wasting my time before you even get started. This is literally about discipline. Discipline is you have to give yourself credit for doing the action that is the action. Now, Waddle says do it in a certain way.
Yes.
So what if you show up going, I want to get to 10. I want to get to 10 in the next hour. I want to get to 10. And listen, you know what's going to happen? You're going to wind up talking to people more than you've ever talked to people. And you're like, oh my God, I couldn't even get to 10. Then you're going to miss the reason, you're going to miss the result of the action. I didn't get to 10. You're going to call me and go, Sean, I didn't get to 10. I'm like, why didn't you get to 10? Well, I talked to 4 people and they wanted to get started. What are you, nuts? You're going to find your brain is wired because of your mother and eating with a knife and a fork. If you don't do it right, you're in trouble. Your brain is wired from a child. If I do not do it right, I'm in trouble. I want you to just do it. To begin.
Okay.
I'm going to do, right? 33 steps. Stuart Wilde in his book, 33 Steps to Your Infinite Self says, just go do calls. Put on your best suit, go do rain. I've done that. Put on my best suit and went out and done rain. You don't walk around in the rain in your suit. I went out and did rain in my suit. Why? Because I can have the suit cleaned. We have to get over this preconceived notion of what happens when we go do. And that's the discipline to allow ourselves to do. We do with such expectation, such anticipation, such trepidation. I sound like a poem from Hallmark. We do it with such, no matter what I do, it's not going to work. And you do it and it didn't work, and I'll be damned if you're not right. So discipline is deciding at the infinitesimal level, I'm going to do this. And we got to start. Yeah, but when you start to do that, you're not being disciplined. You're being delusional. It's called mental toughness. And what happens is we have delusional thinking. And we delude our capability, right? Kind of like if I wanted to, I like Jameson rocks. I've had some people give me Jameson with ginger ale. I'm like, wow, because I'm used to the strong taste of the Jameson. And the ginger ale, it's sweet, it's easy, it's palatable. I'm like, wow, everybody could drink this. It's like a girl's drink because it's so smooth, right? My point is that if you have I love Guinness. I could drink a gallon of Guinness. People are like, how do you drink that stuff? I'm like, it is to me. I don't know that I always liked it, but I don't think I ever went, I could never drink. Now, I used to say when I'd see the dark, black, thick beer, oh, I can't drink that. Till I had my first one. I'm like, I don't know why I was so hesitant, because I took in everybody else's belief. I can promise you the people who wired me to think that it wasn't a good beer were people who didn't like it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you look at people that you're listening to who don't like to make calls, who struggle with reaching out to people, it's probably because they don't like to do it. And that's how you get wired. I can't even talk to 5 people, let alone 50, and this, that, and the other. So I would begin with, hey, I'm going to do 1 till I have 50 check marks, but I'm going to do 1. I did that one. I'm going to do the next one. Discipline is about staying focused, not in doing this delusional, I'm at 32. I didn't do my goal. That's the most you've ever done in today. So the discipline is being able to look at the individual. I'm going to go through a presentation now. But so I get it. Write out what discipline so here's what I want everybody to take a minute doing while I'm setting up the presentation. I want you to write out what would be the absolute most powerful benefit of having a positive relationship with discipline. What would that be? What would that feel like? I want you to write that out so that you can hear this presentation with the benefit it's wired to help give you, so that you're not in resistance going, well, I'm just not good at discipline. I'm not good at that. You'll find all of the things you're not good at. Law of opposites says, if this can help you become wildly disciplined, it can also help you trigger I'm even going to be less disciplined. I'll tell myself, like Ruth did, I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm still doing this, like Louise did, where she said, oh, here's my definition of discipline. It's a lie. It's a big, fat, bold lie. Because why? If that was her true belief, why would you ever avoid discipline? So we say what we want you to hear that discipline is. I want it to be inspirational, but it sure as heck ain't motivation. So write out what you think discipline is, how you would love it to work for you and be in your best version for you. Okay.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me get this set up. Where is my PowerPoint? I turn into a little Frenchman when I have to go find my PowerPoint. I don't know why. Close that, close that. Where is it here Saturday morning? No, that's the live. What is it, Dubby? I love you.
That's some good stuff, Skippy.
Is it good stuff, Skippy? Are you still in Chicago, man?
I'm still in Chicago, eh? It's I actually just wanted to say something so my name would come up because this is a historical moment for me. Because I was looking at my calendar the other day, over the last couple days at 1 o'clock, and I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's not a 1. It's actually at 6. So I was like, oh, okay, well that's that's different. This is the morning call now. It's not the it's not the morning for them anymore. So I was like,
His first day on the morning call.
yeah, this is my first day on the
You've been with the guy for 5 years, but it's never been morning for me.
It's always been morning for him. So hey, listen, I told you everything I gotta tell you yesterday. I just gotta share that with folks as well before we go on, and say that the biggest takeaway for me from the seminar at the ranch was the tree.
Mm.
And the
So
reason
people are
is,
going, the what?
the reason is we all got to pick our trees at the ranch, and I picked mine. For some reason, it was the only tree that would talk to me. So I said, okay, you and I are gonna be a match. I swiped right on it. And I was like, okay. And then I had a conversation with a tree, and I had a conversation with a rock. And before you say I'm nuts, what I did was, and what I'm sure everybody else did was as well, is that I had a conversation with my tree. I specifically told it what to do for me. And the thing I told it to do for me was take care of all bad and negative energy that could and will come and attack me. And I swear to God, I kid you not, over the last week it's been already, I have not felt a shred of doubt in any idea I had so far. Because I spent the whole Sunday, spent the whole ride back to Little Rock. I spent Monday and Tuesday just thinking about the tree, just thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, and thinking how it's gonna just absorb everything that comes my way, and it's not serving me in my vision. And maybe that was the transformation, maybe that was the immersion, maybe whatever. But it just works. And so far, every time that a bad thought will come and try to poke me or whatever, it just kind of just goes out there. It just has a, we got connections at Concourse C, connections at Concourse C, connections to Little Rock, so it just goes over there, and I'm like, okay, so see ya in a bit, or not. So yeah, that was the price of the seminar for me right there. So thank you, and thank you to everybody that attended and everybody who we had in our thoughts in there. So thank y'all.
I love it. And you heard me mention about, and when you come to the ranch, you'll pick a tree. What was your thoughts before you had this experience about what you thought of when I would say, when you come and you've heard me talk about Diane's tree and that's where Fiona is and different things. And so what was your thoughts that you had to let go of about a tree at the ranch?
I mean, knowing you for 5 years before coming to ranch, if I hadn't known better, I'd say that you're nuts. But
Oh, that's not changed at all. I am nuts.
I was thinking of it more as
What do you think would have needed to have happened to make it as powerful as it is right now before you'd even come? Is there anything that could have happened that would have made the tree as prominent and as powerful as it is to you now to come before the event? Before you got to go through, I'm going to get my visa to get a tree. What?
yeah, they're looking at me like I was nuts.
Right?
But I'd say so this is how I saw the exercise before this had happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it as a service to you because I was like, if we all pick our trees and you walk out the house every morning to feed the sheep and chickens and whatnot, and just take your morning stroll around the property, I was like, so he's gonna see our tree, the trees that we picked that kind of represent us, and then he's gonna see that he's gonna feel better. But I thought initially before this happened to me that us picking the trees was a service to you and not the other way
Wow.
around. Yeah, this is what I thought.
Bonus. Never in my life did I think of it as that. So now I get to present it in a different way.
That's what I thought. Swear to God,
I love that. I love that. Bonus, bonus, bonus for me.
so
So here's the thing. What discipline, and this is why I'm asking the question, what discipline did you have to act or activate to make it go from my benefit to your benefit? What was the discipline? What was the switch to get back to you? The discipline that had to be activated or was already activated that said, oh, he gets the residual of it always being a benefit for me. What was the transition? Was it when you picked up the stone? Was when it had started talking to you and feeding you information while you were here? Was it when you got to Little Rock? When was it like, oh crap, it's my tree, not his?
I think it was as I was driving home from Shirley up to Little Rock, because I was in the car with three women. Respects to them all. I had a woman behind me speaking a lot, talking a lot. We can guess who that is. I'm just kidding, Silky. I love you. So I was kind of thinking, I was kind of looking at the countryside as we were driving, because coming up there we couldn't because there's so much rain. So when we came back, I mean, we're going back to Little Rock. I was like, oh, okay, so let me just see how it actually looks like through the window. So I was looking at it and, just got me thinking. I was like, okay, well, if I right now come to Little Rock and it's going to be done soon. And I remember you told me one specific thing about my trip to the States now, which was that initially, and this is true, I'm, I am 100% guilty of this, Your Honor. Um, I thought that Little Rock was just a by stop for my journey to Chicago. And right now it appears that Chicago is a layover for me in my future travels to the ranch. Uh, and that's kind of how I saw it. So I just started thinking about it, and I was like, okay, if I were to choose one thing, one line, one kind of just one epicenter of energy, and the one thing I did, what would be the thing that stood out the most? And I was thinking about business class conversation we had on the porch,
Mm-hmm.
and about DMP replacing my old story as my story conversation we had on the porch. Because folks, in the case you didn't know, the price of the seminar you get is on the porch. It's not in the it's not in Charles Boathouse. It's on the porch. So I was thinking, well, what would be that one thing that would be the epicenter of my seminar there? And I kind of thought about business class most. I was like, maybe that's it. And then it just hit me. I spent 30 minutes going around the property, looking at one tree, then kind of, kick it with the tree. Looking at the second tree, didn't really do it for me. And as I was walking through the property, this tree made most sense. So I was like, okay, I spent a lot of time on this. I spent like 30, 40, 45 minutes on this. It was raining at the time. I kind of had to go out there. I was walking literally in the shoes of my mentor, literally size 11 Puma shoes. Okay. And I was like, okay, that has to be it. But right now, how do we make it happen? How do I make it happen that is it? And it just struck me. I'm like, the whole point of the exercise was for me to pick a tree, and now I get to do with it whatever I want. And I want, just as I spoke to it, and Debbie was kind of there and Beamish was there, they were looking at me like I was nuts. But I was speaking to the tree, I was speaking to the rock, and I said, you are now taking care of me for this. I may be a little bit over independent of you in the beginning. That's gonna evolve as well. But in the beginning, I'm asking of you to take care of a lot of stuff for me and to put in a good word out there for me. And I was like, okay, that's the thing. That's what stands out in this seminar for me. And that's how I figured it out. So there you go.
There
With
you
that,
go.
the pipe and smoke.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And so when you come here, that'll make more sense. The key is to have the discipline to be open to transformation, because you can hear it in his voice. It's a transformation. All discipline leads to transformation. Listen, even when you are negatively impacted by your discipline, by not doing it, you are transforming from the limiting version that you are to a more powerful limiting version, which is called addiction to approval. Just like any addict, you build up a tolerance, and your lack of discipline, you build up a tolerance to your lack of discipline. And it takes a medical team. It takes a tragedy sometimes for us to overcome our discipline. Have a heart attack, quit smoking, car accident, go to prison for hurting somebody. I had a student of mine 20 years ago, just about 20 years ago. Was Mason a baby yet? Meaning, was he here? Yes, because we were in Dallas. So 18 years ago, I had a student I was coaching in network marketing 25 years ago, knew him for 5-6 years, hit a girl drinking and went to prison for 18 months and called me every weekend from prison, Colorado State Prison. We never really had a mentor agreement, but I would answer the calls because I knew if I was the one, who could I call? What I'm saying is that he changed the way that discipline forced him to, he doesn't have drinks anymore. His life, because his focus and books he read, his discipline shifted to building personal awareness and success. He's done some pretty amazing things since then from on the outside. I say all of this to say a serious level of discipline is a life of transformation. So, that being said, I'm going to share a slide and we're going to go through a little bit. Oh, let's do this real quick. We've been going for almost an hour. Let's take a little 5-minute potty break, go get some water, do whatever. It is now 8:50. We'll be back at 8. Is 5 minutes enough? Type in the chat. Do you need 5 or 10? 5 or 10. Type in the chat. 5 or 10. Let me know. 5. Going once, going twice, 10. Okay, we got 1 5. There's 10s. Okay, democratic world has it. So 10 minutes. We'll be back at the top of the hour. So let me start a timer here for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So go get your stuff done, move around, and review your notes. Take a look at what you're doing. 10-minute timer. 10. It's a neat thing about Google. 10-minute timer. And that's kind of a cheesy one. I like this one. So there you go. 10 minutes. We'll see you back here in 10 minutes. 2 tons. Back at that. While we're waiting for the timer to run out, anybody have any questions? Need clarification? Want to share any aha that have happened over the course of the last hour?
Hey, Sean,
Hey, Selka.
hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to add something to the tree that AJ was talking about earlier. For people that may have never been to your ranch and that should really go. I mean, I was amazed at all the trees. So it was raining and we didn't get out that much. And I was like, still the last day, I hadn't picked a tree. And it was pretty amazing. Everybody said, oh, you know, the tree will just speak to you. So I was standing out on the terrace with I think I was talking to Louise and maybe it was AJ. I think both of them. And suddenly I looked over and I know I had in my mind that I wanted a tree that had a view over the lake. Like that was important to me. I don't know why, but because I love you. So I thought, you know, when I spend time with my tree, I want to have this amazing view. And so suddenly I looked over and I saw this tree and it was white. And, you know, I like things that are different. So all the other trees were green and this tree was white and it like totally, I'm like, this is my tree. It's like, yeah. So it's amazing. So they said, oh, you should go out and you know, get close to it and see if you really like it. So I walked all the way out there and it was amazing. It has some rocks there you can sit on, you can read a book, you can even lay on to tan. And I was telling them that when I came back and they were laughing at me because they found it so funny. But yes, it was so amazing. It was like, oh my God, this is my tree right there. So I just wanted to share that. I didn't get to spend as much time with the tree as I wanted to because we were supposed to go somewhere, remember, and but then we didn't, but it was okay. But this is my tree. I took some pictures and so I can share this is my tree, and I know it's probably going to change colors, so I hope you can send me some updated pictures when it does, because this is my tree and I know exactly where it is because it has amazing rocks around it where you can hang out right under the tree. So yeah, I wanted to share that because it's so true. When you know, when everybody says, "Oh, it's going to speak to you," and I was like, you really the tree?" But yeah, when I looked over and I just like happened to look around, like that's my tree. Might sound crazy to people who have never been to your ranch, but maybe other people that have can understand it. But yes, it's pretty amazing.
I love it. Yes,
Actually,
it
not
is just
my
it,
tree.
it is just that crazy and it is just that fast. And it's when Napoleon Hill says this in the book Think and Grow Rich. No fewer than 100 times has the secret to success been revealed in these pages. What it means by that, it's when you are ready, your goal is to be ready enough to receive it whenever you flip the page. You walked by the trees, we drove by the trees, we did all of these things. When you are ready to receive the calling, the hearing, the connection to that energy, because it is a living, breathing thing, you connected. You got into the same vibration of it. So
And it it has an amazing view because, you know, I was seeing it and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to go over there because I want to make sure it has a view of the lake. Because if it hadn't, it wouldn't have been my tree. But
Right.
it has an amazing view. So yeah, I wanted to share that because it's very special. I mean, I can feel it.
Yep.
Does it sound weird?
Yeah, well, no. Well, it sounds weird only if you're like, well, that's just weird. But if you're like, that's not weird, then it doesn't sound weird. But if you're like,
To
that's
me, it's
weird,
not weird. But if I was to tell that to someone else that's not in our group or that doesn't think like you do, would they find it weird?
they would find it memorable. Weird doesn't always mean weird. It's memorable because it's like, yeah, that's the lady with her tree. I'm glad. Listen, whatever it takes for me to be remembered.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that because I
Sure.
wasn't even thinking of it until AJ was speaking about history and his experience. So I
I
wanted.
love it, love it, love it. All right, so here we go. We're going to go into a little presentation. It's only 18 slides. It's not 645 slides that I have in one of my other presentations. But so let me share this on PowerPoint. Let's see here. You should now see, okay, so you see all of this here. Great, great, great. This is the conversation, the discipline of time. I want you to write down discipline equals good discipline. Let's put this, good discipline equals time traveler. I know that sounds weird. Discipline equals time traveler. And that'll make sense as we go through the process. Welcome to the journey that'll transform how you perceive and utilize time. In this presentation, we'll explore how our relationship with time affects our ability to achieve greatness and how disciplined approaches to time management can rewire our brains for lasting success. Disciplined approaches, meaning responses. I'm Sean G. Murphy, creator of the NEST program, The Brain Talk, and I'm passionate about helping professionals like you, in case somebody's listening to this audio, to develop a mental framework and the mental frameworks needed to achieve your highest potential. So here we go. Let me see if I put this into presentation mode, I just want to see what happens. Record review view. Oh, slideshow. Here we go. And I want to go to presenter view. Okay. Continue sharing. All right. Look at that. Somebody put that in there. We respond fast to discomfort, but slow to destiny. How many of you believe that?
Bonus.
Yeah. We respond fast to discomfort, but slow to destiny. Do you act when it screams or when it matters? The urgency paradox. We respond with lightning speed to immediate discomfort. A dying phone. I know we talk about this. We use nothing I'm going to say is going to be earth shattering. But what it might shatter is some beliefs you weren't willing to give up. A dying phone, a rumbling tummy, a deadline for tomorrow. We procrastinate on the very things that would transform our lives over the long term, right? You heard how Silke said the word bore. I don't want to do the boring things. I don't like boring. Boring is what will make you rich, doing the same thing over and over that produces powerful, positive results. And then it won't be boring, right? You heard her say, well, if I did 50 calls and 20 people said yes, that's not boring. But how do we get it to not be boring? Jim Rohn said, you make 3 conversions out of 10. I make 1 out of 10. I'll beat you because I'll outwork you and I can get better. The only reason it's boring is because our results are boring. How do we develop the skill or the talent to take boring and turn it into bountiful and beautiful? So we would procrastinate on the very things that would transform our lives. This isn't accidental. As a brain trainer and a neuroencoding specialist and a mental toughness specialist, as a self-talk trainer at the Self-Talk Institute, as somebody who's a brain talk specialist, I've created the NEST program, neuroenergetic self-sculpting, the secocytogenesis. This isn't accidental. Our brains are wired to prioritize immediate threats and rewards while discounting our future ones. It's called the dopamine effect. There's literally a challenge out there and a problem with people needing so much dopamine in their life because of social media. No matter how significant your future might be, we discount it. Right? We respond fast to discomfort, but slow to destiny. This is the hard truth. You'll charge your phone at 10%, but wait years to charge your dreams. The disconnect between our response to immediate versus important but not urgent matters represents one of the greatest obstacles to achieving meaningful success in our life. The disconnect between response to immediate versus important but not urgent matters represents one of the greatest obstacles, right? So, how long is this breath versus purpose? So breath, urgency, seconds. In seconds, you stop breathing, it becomes urgent, right? Jim Rohn said, money's not important, but it's right. Zig Ziglar said, money's not important, but it's right up there with oxygen. When you need it, it's the only thing you can think about. When deprived of oxygen, your body launches into survival response. Think about your success models. Think about the things you do for success. The reason that you struggle with your success is that you are doing it out of survival. You are doing it from wound care, not scar care. Let me see if I can visualize that again for you. In order to have the wound of your past heal, we focus on, or we don't focus on it at all, and it gets infected and it gets sore, and it winds up drawing our attention. We don't even like it, right? So this is breath. It's about seconds. The challenge is water. How long do we need water? Well, we can go a couple of days without water. We'd rather not, but within a few hours, a day, half a day, you're like, man, I'm tired. There's people who don't drink a whole lot of water at all. There's people who don't drink water at all. They drink fluids, but their body's not hydrated. So they have chronic joint discomfort. They probably have weight issues. They have brain fog, and they won't drink the water. Like, I don't like the taste of water. Okay. It becomes crucial though, because then we say you're dehydrated. At what point are you dehydrated? At what point, listen carefully, they say about 80% of doctors' visits are related to dehydration. 90% are usually inflammation. Did you realize that you can really solve a lot of inflammation problems by getting your body back into the Schumann resonance and getting some oxidizes electrons in your body simply by grounding, earthing? But see, we won't take time to ground and earth our dreams. We won't get reconnected to them by taking off this mask called productivity and activity and social media followers and algorithms. Those are all masks. Right? About food. Some people can go, if they drink water, they can go 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, 30 days without food. Hunger becomes uncomfortable within hours, but life-threatening only after days. Now, if your body has a store, see, here's the challenge. We have a store of disbelief that when we want to go fast, listen carefully, when we want to fast, right? Fasting is going without. When we want to go without doubt, without delay, without procrastination, we have a storehouse. Our procrastination mindset is fat, baby. It's fat. It's huge. Our disobedient version of us is full screen movie. IMAX size movie. We got enough content to show where we are not disciplined. And yet you want to make a decision to go be disciplined. And you got to run through all of these movies, and you look at all of these movies, you look at all of these feelings, you look at all of these emotions. I'm going to go build my network marketing business. Awesome. Yeah, but I had that bad relationship when I was 21 and they really took advantage of me. I just feel, what does that have to do with it? We look for ways to avoid our success. I know that, man, that hurts. How about purpose? Often ignored for decades. We talk about it. We say it nicely on events and hey, what's your why? My why is to go take care of this and to do that. Awesome. So what's the result? Not good. Now, again, if you've got some questions or chats or conversations or bonus and you hear something and you want to say bonus, right? This is the reason that I want you to do that. The reason I want you to say this stuff is because I want you to really feel, I want you to really hear yourself say it, that it becomes visual, it becomes visceral, it becomes part of your body. Okay? All right, so here's the urgency perception curve. 100% focus. 100% focus in the now. And as time goes on, we wind up fading off and going a little lower and a little lower and a little lower and a little lower, right? Kind of crazy, isn't it? Your brain's perception of importance diminishes rapidly as consequences extend into the future. How far away is your goal? It's why we talk about 90-day goals. It's we will set 5-year goals and 10-year goals, but I can promise you this isn't where you wanted to be 10 years ago. Ouch. This is, I take people through something called, Tony Robbins walks you through in UPW, something called the Dickens process. Show you your past, show you, and we walk through your future as if your past continues to expand. The delays continue to get bigger and worse, and the debt begins to rise and continue to grow. And it's really an emotional, a visceral. I've had people on the porch out here at the ranch in tears, in a ball of tears, because it was just so real. And we went out 20 years. And they were literally the audience, the people that were here that were in the event were saying, stop, I can't take anymore. This is horrible. Literally in tears, almost screaming, stop. Because of the reality of what's going to happen if you do not begin to discipline yourself towards what you want. That makes sense? This explains why even high-achieving professionals struggle with prioritizing long-term investments in health, in relationships, in career. Your brain misjudges importance based on immediacy, not actual value. Bonus. This is not, here's the challenge. The reason I became a brain trainer, because I got tired of people setting goals and them not achieving it. Are you lying that you want to create a $500,000, $100,000 a year side gig, a $500,000 business? Are you lying that you want a family, you want a connection, you want a relationship that's a lifetime relation? Are you lying about that? The answer is no, I'm not lying about it. You just can't stop the urgency, the immediacy of all of the pain that you're focused on. So you got to deal with all of the pain, all of the pain, all of the pain. Well, when's joy come? When you stop dealing with the pain. But it's painful. No, it's not. It could be worse. So this ain't so bad. Pay attention. You've got to start asking questions. And I walk you through this stuff as we go through this, right? We're on slide something. We're on slide 4 of 18. We're getting there. So now I gotta move this out of the way. The TIE equation. The TIE equation, time importance equation. Perceived importance equals immediacy divided by awareness. This formula explains why we struggle with long-term goals as the time gap. That's why we visualize. Do you understand now why visualization is one of the key fundamental formulas that will improve your discipline instantly when you begin to visualize, because you close the time gap. I want a 12-month goal. You visualize the goal at 12 months from now. Today, right now, the challenge is, but it's not happening. You're lying that it's not happening. So why not tell yourself a better truth that it's already happening, so you can activate the parts of your brain that will shut down the fear-based modality that says you're not enough, that says you can't do it. Does that make sense? The reason that you visualize and you want to practice well, I'm not good at visualization. I would change that story. My visualization gets better every time I do it. That's the exact same result, yet a totally different feeling state of your current situation. I'm not good at it. No, you're not. But what happens when you begin to do something? If you want to get better, you'll get better every time. So why not inspire yourself saying, my visualization practice gets better every time I use it? And I love that. So this is the time importance equation. Perceived importance is immediacy divided by awareness. So what does that look like? If Lily started giving birth right now, I'd say, hey, that's an immediate thing. We gotta stop this. My priority just became taking care of one of my sheep who's giving birth. Now, she may have birth while I'm on this and I'm not looking at the camera and somebody's not looking at the camera, and it may have happened. So there's no immediacy. It already happened. I made it urgent that I want to be there when she's giving birth in case she has any problems. But my awareness divided by my awareness, if I'm not aware of it, can I make it a priority? See, the reason that your goals suffer and they are delay starved, they are nutritionally attentionally deprived, is because you're not paying attention to them. You're not aware of them. And how do you become aware of them? Reading your DMP, writing out your DMP every day, doing the things that are necessary every day. Daily actions. When I work with people, I mean, they paying the big dollars. They have to send me a text every hour they're awake. What do they send? What would they send? A Y or an N every hour, not just business hours, every hour. Because my question is, aren't your goals going to be made up of every hour from here to there? From here to there, wherever there is, where you've arrived at your goal and you go, this goal I've achieved. From here to there, isn't it made up of every hour of your life?
Bonus.
So every hour that you're awake, wouldn't it make sense to see if you've Kaizened yourself, the Japanese principle of 1% better every day? How many of you would like a 180% increase in your income? For the next 6 months, focus on what it is you're doing. Are you moving closer or farther away? Just ask yourself. See, you might not have the discipline to do it on your own. I can promise you, if you do, I'll give you a 180% raise. I'll give you a 360% raise, 360% raise if you did it every day. Guaranteed. Because you're not going to show up going, no, I'm not moving closer. No, I'm not moving closer. No, I'm not moving closer. You're going to get ticked off enough and go, enough of this. And the reality is that your discipline is a math problem. When it is overwhelmingly against you, you fight back. When there's no immediacy, when there's no threat, you don't do anything about it because you don't have any awareness of the benefit of the seeds you're planting. Best time to plant a tree, 20 years ago. Next best time, today. Definition of a successful man, somebody who plants a tree that they'll never have a chance to sit underneath its shade. If your success is what you're going to build it as, you're going to see some benefit. But if your success is limited to you, is it really success? What's the legacy that you're leaving? What are you planting that generations past you will benefit from? See, we're not taught to think in generational wealth. We're taught to break generational curses. But even that we kind of suck at. Because here's the thing, if 80% of the people, which the number is a lot higher than that, more like 98% of the people struggle in their wealth, how did they learn that? You weren't born poverty mindset. You were taught it. And here's the thing, you are teaching your discipline. Low awareness, low urgency, without conscious intervention. Our awareness of distant consequences remain dim, right? If you've ever done any visualization, they say, bring it closer. Is it in color? Is it black and white? Is it up on the left? Is it up on the right? Is it closer? Do you have the vision? Can you bring it? How close is it? Do you smell it, taste it, feel it, touch it, hear it? Because we have this, we won't spend time getting good at visualization. We just cast it off by going, I'm not good at that. I've never been a good visualizer. I can promise you, you are. You can visualize your pain, your suffering, because I can see it on your face. Your lack. Because we don't have a clear visualization, no immediacy. What do we have? We have no visual of it. Discipline raises awareness. True discipline isn't forcing yourself to do hard things, boring things. It's raising your awareness of the future consequences to meet them before they become a crisis. You've seen people on YouTube, 500 pounds. You've seen their before picture. You've seen their after picture. They got a six-pack and they're this. It took them 4 years, 3 years. It took them a lot, hours and hours of doing the thing, focused on it, walking, sweating their ass off, feeling embarrassed, going, wow, look at Tubby walking around, right? They know all of these things. You can call me any name in the book. I've been called every name in the book. They know what they're, until. Right? So look at the pattern. What most people do, wait for a crisis. Drop a C in the chat if you know somebody who, I'm not saying you're above that. Maybe not, but I'm not asking, is it you? I'm saying if you know somebody who's crisis focused, drop a C in the chat. How about this? This one might hurt. We adapt to the lack of progress until it feels normal. I should hear some bonuses because that kind of hurt.
Bonus.
Normalize absence. We are so good at living our life of what we don't have.
Ouch.
Yeah. But see, nobody says this to you. I told you that's why we have the hour beforehand. Why do we need an hour of prep time to talk about discipline? I want discipline. No, you don't. You don't. Until. See, when somebody goes to a Heather Matthews and says, my body is a wreck, the question is that normal? And the answer is, no, it's not normal. At what point did their body being a wreck become not normal? When they couldn't deal with the normal. Listen to me. I hope I get this across. If you're wanting to build wealth, how many of you have adjusted your what do you call it? Your budget to meet your normal income. We talk about we want more. We talk about we'll do more. We talk about we've got to make some changes, but we make cutbacks instead of improving our discipline. Oh, I'm glad my camera.
Bonus.
Yeah, because if my camera was on, I'd be looking for my face because there's probably the most wanted poster child of me. We normalize absence. So here's the thing. Pay attention. Please pay attention to this. Every one of you, every single one of you is in sales. Listen carefully. Zig Ziglar's version, transference of enthusiasm. You may not have a product. You may not have a service. You have an energy. And you are selling somebody on, maybe a child on doing their homework better, maybe an adult child on improving their relationship, maybe a partner on how they can be more present with you. You are always selling an idea. Follow me on this? You are always selling an idea that's usually, more often than not, in parallel, not necessarily harmony, because somebody's got to jump over to a new idea. What do you want to eat? I don't know. That's lack of discipline. I want hot dogs, healthy hot dogs. I don't want hot dogs. We got ideas we want to eat, they're running parallel, but we've got to jump the tracks to get into each other's, right? You see what I'm talking about? Watch this. 99.99% of the conversations you're about to go have as you work on your own discipline is dealing people who have this normalized absence mindset. They've normalized the absence of their wealth. They've normalized the absence of their health. You know how I know this? Because some of you have some absolutely kick-ass nutritional products, money-saving products that people complain about them because of their price. Doesn't that make sense that they have normalized the absence of what you have to offer, and they justify it to you because you are poverty absence minded? You have normalized your poverty, that when they throw a dart at you and say, that's too expensive. Yeah, you're probably right. Bonus. The reason you agree with them, the reason that you feel bad is because you are in agreement with them, because you've normalized the absence of the result, which is usually money. Ooh, see, this is all about discipline. We are talking about disciplining your thoughts. It's called mental toughness. Some of you are not fully aware of what mental toughness is. Mental toughness is the ability to do something long after the emotion of making the decision has faded away. Let's continue. Promise change. We vow to be different, but return to waiting. This is what most people do. Think about the next time you're having a conversation. Which one are they waiting for? Well, I got money next week. I'll do it next week. There's a snowball's chance in Hades they'll do it next week, because the last thing they needed, if they ain't got money this week, all the money they got next week's probably spent too. Maybe they got to get their new iPhone. What? So promise change. Vow to be different. I'm going to do the work this time. I'm going to go to the event. I just did the event. I'm going to do the work. No one can make you, a man convinced against his will is of the same mindset still. Nobody can make you go do something. You have to have this internal dialogue, this internal conversation. Oh, back to this. Can you all see my screen? The belief is this belief. It's not about potential, although that's important. It's not about the action, although that's pretty critical. It's not really about the results. It's about the belief of all of these. And that's what discipline will do when you believe you're capable. And here's the one: react to the emergency scramble when consequences finally arrive. It's the flat tire. It's they shut off the power. They turned off your water. Anybody ever have their water turned off? Anybody ever have their power shut off? I have. Don't recommend it. By the time it screams for your attention, you will have normalized the absence of what matters most. You may want to write that down. Take a screenshot. I'd encourage you to write it down so that you have the physiology. By the time it screams for your attention, you will have normalized the absence of what matters most. What matters most to you that you have normalized the absence of it? Is it love? Is it a connection with somebody? You've normalized, if you don't have it, you have normalized the absence of it. Otherwise, you would be visualizing every day. You would know that it's already here. It's as close as your skin. Everything you want is as close as your skin. And when you activate your discipline to the level that you are capable of, you will understand that, and you will have what Napoleon Hill says. You'll wonder where all of this stuff was during all the lean years. This cycle reinforces itself. I got to move something out of the way here. I want to make sure I don't get it wrong. This cycle reinforces itself because each round of delay makes future delay easier. You know, why do you think if they know the plane's going to be late 2 hours? Maybe you didn't know they do this. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you knew. They know it's going to take 2 hours to change a part out. They said maintenance has got here, and they're checking the part. We should be about 20 minutes. Oh, 20 minutes. Okay, they just told us they need to get one more part. They're getting it. They're bringing it now, another 20 minutes. And they do 20 minutes, half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, because they to wake you through 2 hours. Because if it's 2 hours, shit, I'm getting off the plane. Right? Creating the downward spiral where important but not urgent matters are perpetually postponed. This making sense? This making sense? Kind of cool stuff, right? Here we go. Reframing discipline. How would you like to reframe discipline? Old view, punishment. See, we'll tell everybody else because we're speakers, we're trainers, we're inspirational, motivational people. We need to be a little bit more up on life. We're leading people. We don't say discipline is forcing yourself to do an unpleasant task. It's punishment. Discipline is punishment. When your parents disciplined you, positive or negative initial response? My parents disciplined me to say thank you, hold open doors. That's a positive discipline. To speak when spoken to, positive discipline. To not run off in the Sears and hide in the roundabouts in the clothing section, negative, because my mother beat my butt because I hid, and I heard her, Sean, and ma'am, are you looking for somebody? This was before kids got snatched up everywhere. But Mason was gone for about 6 minutes in Home Depot, hiding in one of those little demo sheds. They're only about 2 feet deep, but it gives you the whole frame and the size and everything. Hiding in there. Guy comes to me, goes, "You looking for your boy?" I go, the white in my face probably gave him the clue that I was the dad. He goes, "Yeah, he's hiding in the shed giggling." I open that door, he's giggling. Michelle had already done an code Adam in the store, meaning they lock it down. No parent leaves. Nobody leaves with a kid until they can identify him. She jerked Mason. Michelle was better than, I don't know, whoever a magician is. Because she was within 10 feet of me, and he like transported. He instantly vaporized from my arms to hers. She snatched them out of my arms so fast because I lost them. See, that's my idea of discipline. Ooh, I'm in trouble. Better view is training. Discipline is a neurological practice. This is boring. It's not boring because if I do this, change the way we look at things, right? Bob Proctor would say, change the way you look. Wayne Dyer would say, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Wallace D. Waddell said, it's not about doing certain things. Don't do boring things. Do boring things in a certain way that they're not boring. Discipline is a neurological practice. Here's best view. Emotional time travel. Emotional time travel. Oh, I do this. I eat this salad versus that half gallon of Ben and Jerry's Jerry Garcia. I love coffee ice cream. If I take a spoonful of the coffee ice cream out of a little pint versus eat the whole thing, which I could, and I have, I know in my future when I step on the scale a day from now, 2 days from now, that I'll say, I got more ice cream left. I feel good. Look at me. My body looks good. I'm sexy. Discipline allows you to time travel with the best possible feeling. You've never heard that before. I promise you, you've never heard that before. Never, ever, ever have you heard that discipline allows you to time travel in a positive world. That's what visualization is. That's what goal setting is. That's what goal achieving is in your mind. Is this making sense? Bonus. Your mic's off. Bonus. Go, shout it out. Yeah, I'm telling you, when you understand that discipline, when acted upon in the way that allows you to maintain your control, not deal with the normalization of absence, you become disciplined. You become a world-class time traveler, and you compress the gap between it and you. That's all we're doing. Discipline allows you to compress the gap. You getting this? Is this making sense? Discipline isn't primarily about willpower. It's not about willpower because you got willpower, but your willpower doesn't work. It doesn't. I have free will. No, you don't. You have a will that has been crushed and stepped on and said, the things you need to do in life to create success are boring and I don't like boring. That's not willpower. You have no free will. If you are mad where you're at, you have no free will. If you are sad where you're at, you have no free will. I told you, this is going to sound like I'm slapping you. I am not. I'm just pointing out I'm lifting the screen. I'm pulling back the curtain that nobody's going to talk to you about because this is brain related. And when we talk about brain related, the brain has no emotion. The brain has no emotion. This is an emotional thing because you have let emotions get in the way of your success. We call it an identity crisis. Who's going to be jealous? Well, no one's going to be jealous. How about you? Discipline isn't primarily about willpower or forcing yourself through difficult tasks. At its core, discipline is emotional time travel. The ability to feel future consequences now. See, we're all about immediate 6-second scroll. That one still gets me. Once or twice a week, I'll be 45 minutes, an hour going, what am I doing? And I literally throw my phone. I mean, I don't throw it to break it. I pitch it. I unconsciously lose my phone. Thank goodness for the Find Me, because it could be stuck somewhere up at the shed where the sheep are, could be stuck in the side-by-side or in the four-wheeler little glove box thing, or maybe I left it over at the tent. I'm like, where's my, I unconsciously lose my phone. So I can, and I'm aware of this more and more going, where is my phone? And my subconscious, I can hear my subconscious going, I'm glad I hit it on you, which is what I've asked it to do. I need to get better at that. I'm getting better at that. We put timers on our phones. We do all this thing. When properly understood, discipline becomes an act of love. Write this down. Discipline is an act of love toward my future self. Write it down. Write it.
Bonus.
Discipline becomes an act of love toward my future self. It's loving the future enough to serve it now. How many of us prepared a nursery? See, McKinley had her baby, had her lamb. This is the second year. Well, we've only had her 2 years. This is her second baby. And she had her lamb in the field the first year. I'm like, there's no way she's pregnant. She's not pregnant. We think I'm watching Lily. I based Lily on my limited experience. I had cows, but we don't put cows into stalls to have calves. But you put sheep because the sheep are itty bitties and the bigger sheep could hurt them. Calves, mamas don't seem to do that. And if you've never been around a mom cow with her baby, they'll knock you the snot out of you. But see, it's loving the future enough to serve it now. How many of you have served your children by sacrifice? I'm not saying sacrifice is good or bad. I'm just saying you sacrifice to serve your future version of your child. You saved to put them through school. You saved to make sure you had food. You cooked, maybe instead of eating out, you got chicken thighs instead of filet mignon. You did some things to serve your children, right? What are you doing to serve your 12-month version of you at your DMP? What are you doing to serve them today? Somebody comes home from rehab. You put a ramp up for their steps. If they need a wheelchair, you get a bed that's different. You move the bed downstairs. Drop a D in the chat if you've known anybody who's ever moved a bed downstairs because somebody's coming home from treatment. And they're in the freaking living room. You're like, I don't care. You would never put a bed in your living room. But discipline says, I want to serve them so they can heal and I will do the uncomfortable. Welcome to discipline. What have you learned? What have you liked so far? I need you to we got to take a break for just a second. We're only halfway through. We're 7 of 18. This is some big stuff. Shake yourself out. Give yourself a little. What have you learned? What's the big aha? I want you to take away a big aha. There's been a bunch. What's been a big one for you?
Big one for me. That discipline is an act of love toward my future self. That it's emotional time travel. This is all. Breaking it down from the old view, the better view, and the best view. It's all, this reframe is huge. Thank you.
You're welcome. And here's the thing why this makes sense, because we still got some more slides. There may be some better. Here's the neat thing. This is what you've learned, what you've liked up to this moment. It's okay to learn more. This is pretty cool. Imagine what this could stack on.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? But yesterday you said, I'm excited about tomorrow. There's some people showed up. Yeah, I know. There's some people that showed up and said, I'm not excited about tomorrow because I really don't like to be disciplined. I don't like to be told what to do. Well, I ain't telling you one thing what to do. I'm offering you a suggestion to give yourself some new rules. So,
and it's very much appreciated on this end. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyone else? A little aha before we move on. Give yourself a break, a breath. This is a lot. I told you, this is emotional. This isn't educational. This is emotional because you know all this. I'm just putting in a language for you to go, oh, that's what I was feeling. Going once.
I would like to share something.
Sure, go ahead.
Right along with Heather, it's the time travel. I've heard it over and over and over again. Today it clicked because I kept thinking, I don't know what I was thinking, but today I don't know what and where it was, and maybe because, and there's so much emotion in my time travel right now that I went, ooh, That's it. And this is loving towards me.
Mhm.
Those two things just click.
So do you have to have discipline to keep it loving towards you, or awareness?
It's awareness of
Mm.
the love.
Because it'll always be something. We just need to
Well,
be aware.
yes.
Yep.
And prepared, because there will always be something. And standing firm in the love. The emotion of it.
Yep.
Man,
I love it.
I'm such a BSer. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This hurts, but it's such a bonus.
I love it. All right, here we go. Let's continue. Brain talk.
Can I say something really
Sure,
quick?
go ahead.
Okay. Same here. Discipline is an act of love toward my future self. That totally like shifted my mindset of seeing it as an amazingly positive thing, and that I must do it. I mean, otherwise I would be very hateful to myself, I think.
Well, now imagine with this awareness, Silke, can we give it an upgrade?
Yes, I always love your upgrades.
So watch this. Now imagine the reality of the almost instantaneous time travel capability of people who learn German. When I learned Spanish and I went from I don't speak Spanish to hola, ¿cómo está? People are like, oh, you're trying. Instantly, I time traveled from a non-Spanish speaking person to a 5-sentence Spanish speaking person, and my time travel in life got better. Imagine if you started to explain, and part of your presentation, part of your training was, I want you to imagine you're sitting with all of your friends. If they wanted to learn to speak the culture, or if they're learning business, I want you to imagine you're sitting with a business potential client. And I want you to imagine that your German was pretty spot on, but because you have taken a serious interest in being able to communicate professionally, correctly, I want you to imagine your future business relationships in the German culture, with German marketplaces, you being the one that is the standout because it didn't come naturally, you had to work at it. What if you time traveled your German students to the place to where they told you they want to arrive versus you need to learn conjugation? That's part of it. But what if the visualization was the time travel in 6 months? Here's where you should be able to be in a dialogue in the German culture.
That's an amazing way to look at it. I will definitely use that, because that is like they can visualize where they want to be.
And it's they will do the boring, won't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have several students that are actually going to be spending the summer in Germany. So this is going to be huge. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. That's
Well,
why
here's
I
the-
love working with other people, because many brains, I always say, are the best, versus just my little brain that thinks very regimentally. So
Well,
yeah.
your brain is important to us, so it ain't a little brain.
Okay, my big brain.
There you go. I'm just saying, you see how we
You're right. I should not belittle my
don't belittle
brain.
yourself.
No, I should not.
No, your brain is huge in German. My brain has got 1, 2, 4. There's my little brain of German.
1, 2, 3.
Well, what? See, exactly. My
Well,
point
I
is
just
that you have a
teaching you
huge
something
brain of what you understand, and you're expanding it. Isn't this cool? Understanding discipline, how it's no longer, the beatings will continue till morale improves. No, the loving my future self begins immediately, so I can arrive sooner rather than later.
Yes, and the other one as well. Discipline allows you to time travel in a positive world. I love that as well. But the other one, so both of them are incredibly impactful to my brain this morning. Huge aha moment, a huge bonus. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my
I
God.
love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, here we go. Here's some of the ways we can work to upgrade this. Brain talk. And the reason I say brain talk is because the word that we're used to mostly is self-talk. I want it to be about the hardware in addition to the software. The language we say is the software that runs on the physical hardware of the brain. So we need to hydrate better. We need to put ourselves in an emotional state when we're about to go do the things that require us to focus and discipline. So training the RAS, the reticular activation system. What we've done now, when we say things like discipline allows us to time travel, I choose positively to time travel, understanding my discipline, right? So the reticular activating system needs the reticular formation system, which is the state we are in when we need to go do things that require our focus, our discipline. So it's this combinational circle, right? What happens now if you no longer normalize absence? I want that. I'm going to go after that. We normalize building a business. We normalize the absence of building a business, building a team. We normalize the absence of recognition. So how do we shift that? We have to go to the reticular activating system. We have to have a conversation that sends language into the subconscious, into our limbic system, which there are no words in our brain, ladies and gentlemen. There's only electrical chemicals running around. So we have to have an energetic feeling to activate the chemicals that produce the electrical signal that create the feeling in our body. We do that through activating our reticular activating system. We do that through brain talk, through self-talk, through affirmations, through the NEST program, the neuroenergetic self-sculpting. We do this through all of these things that allow us to focus and to minimize the brain's 80,000 thoughts down to 50,000 thoughts. Could you imagine how much more focused your brain would be if it just gave up 30,000 thoughts a day? That's huge. Here's the second thing we do is collapsing time frames. That's visualization, bringing the then to the now, the future to the now, being in the now, because this can't happen in the future unless it happens now. And the reason the amount of delay between now and when it actually happens is your ability to vibrate in that frequency, period, end of story. If you're looking for love, funny how people will say, oh my God, I had a butterfly land on me. What? I saw these beautiful flowers today. They were just open. When you are in the vibration, the universe responds to your vibration. The universe responds to your vibration. When you start to determine how the strategy, well, I want to create $100,000 and I'm going to need this and I'm going to need that and I'm going to need this and I'm not going to look for anything else but that. We have to allow the universe to surprise us. And that happens when we have phrases like, you won't believe what happened. So the way you collapse the time frame is through visualization, effective self-talk. I love doing these simple, beneficial tasks for me. Don't call them boring anymore. I don't want to do boring. I don't want to walk up to go feed the sheep. No, I want to go up and see. We haven't named the buck yet. We're still working on coming up with a name for the buck. But I want to go up and see Annalise and Ainsley. I want to see Nola. I want to see McKinley. I love how McKinley looks at me like she's going to, like, wants to eat me. But when her baby's there, she understands. She lets me pet her and she lets me touch her and she knows that I'm there to take care of her baby. She has an amazing emotional, energetic connection to the universe. And she can read people like you would not believe. So we have to collapse time frames. We have to bring the where we're going, which requires focus, which requires conversation. We have to bring it to the now. That's very simple. Neurological programming, repeated brain talk. We need to change, we need to create what's called new neural sectors in our brain, which also requires, if we create new, sometimes there's some old programming that doesn't work. It's something, write this down, called neural pruning. When we create these new neural pathways that convert these distant plans, this distant pain, into present action through deliberate cognitive association. Again, association. If you want to do a new habit, link it to a good habit you already do. Example, there's people who forget to take their medicine. Oh, I forgot to take my blood pressure pills, or I forgot to take this. Put the pills in a place where you already do a good habit. Well, brush my teeth. Okay, so brush your teeth. And so take your blood pressure medicine right there with right next to your toothpaste. So you don't have to think about it. Because if you keep it in the cabinet in the kitchen, I forgot it. You don't go there for any reason. It's a new habit. You have to link new habits with current habits you like doing. Does that make sense? So, next one, dual talk. So dual talk is something I use inside of the brain talk, is that you have the primary mission, and then you have left and right audios that play inside the program that reinforce based upon the left side and the right side dominance, also along with some frequencies that are left ear and right ear binaurally beat engineered to help you understand the programming and the process. So, undoing what, this is in the way, let's move this over here. What delayed us, right? So, let's do this. Back over here on the presentation. Instant gratification. That's what social media is. Conditioned for immediacy. From childhood, we're trained to respond to immediate feedback loops through entertainment, education, social systems, and reward quick responses. What future problem am I ignoring because it doesn't scream yet? Right? What future problem am I ignoring because it doesn't scream yet? Distraction economy. Modern technology and media are specifically, listen, I bet nobody knows what that is. You could do a post on that. Hey, listen, who knows what the distraction economy is? Some people are huge consumers of the distraction economy. I've chosen to make some different changes. People are going, what are you doing? What is the distraction economy? Right? We want to create novelty. This is novelty. Conditioned for immediacy, we know that. But distraction economy is novelty. Modern technology and media specifically designed to hijack. Listen, if you read, I don't have his book up here. It's a yellow book called Nir Eyal, Becoming Indistractable. Good book. And then what else do we have here? Breaking free. You are trained to chase urgency, not hold a vision. You were trained to chase urgency, not hold a vision. Reclaiming your attention requires continuous, conscious deprogramming, personal undevelopment of these deeply ingrained responses. Okay, slide 10. Discipline is a practice in 3 dimensions: visionary, rhythmic, and micro. Visionary, rhythmic, and micro. Moment to moment, daily consistency, and year-long impact. That makes sense, right? True mastery of time requires operating across multiple time frames simultaneously. Each dimension requires different practices, yet they work in harmony. See, when Napoleon Hill said, I get men to work in harmony, it wasn't just to get them to work in harmony. They had to work energetically in harmony, physically in harmony, emotionally in harmony. They had to be uplifting each other in harmony, so many parts of harmony, multiple time frames, multiple ways of being in different places at the same time. When these 3 disciplines align, micro, rhythmic, and visionary, you create a powerful framework for sustained achievement and personal growth. Ready to explore them in detail? Here we go. The micro minutes matter. Train for small wins. Remember, I've taught you, I've said it. I don't know how many of you are doing it, but I've said it for decades. What's your reward? My reward is when I get to across the finish line. What's your little mini reward? Micro disciplines focus on the smallest units of decision-making, creating immediate victories that build neurological confidence. This is all in your brain. There's not a skill or an activity you do that's going to kill you, but it'll kill your identity, and you don't have the willpower to say, I'm okay with transformation. 5-minute habit loops, right? You've heard of Mel Robbins talk about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the 5-second conversation. Short, concentrated periods of focused attention create a foundation. Go talk, see how many people you can talk to in 5 minutes. How many people can you effectively, energetically connect emotionally with? Meaning that you were there, you were present in the connection, sending out a message, sending out a text. How many people can you reach out to? Hey, listen, I'd like to have a business conversation. Reply back with a 1 if you're open, or a 2 if you need me to put you on a new put you in a schedule next week. And you just send that out. You'll probably get 99 2s out of 1 1. But you would have got 0 if you're not started. But do 5-minute loops, 5-minute segments. Do whatever you're going to do. Set a timer for 5 minutes. And then a neuro reward. Small wins trigger dopamine release. The fact that you did the 5 minutes should be I did the 5 minutes. Whew, I didn't die. Creating positive feedback loops to reinforce discipline and behavior patterns. That's all we're wanting to do, is improve our behavior patterns. Tools to develop micro discipline include brain talk sessions, dual talk, speaking to both present and future self, nest practices, and so forth. So here's the rhythmic, the daily anchors. 1 principle of Kaizen, 1% daily improvement. 1% improve, not 100%. 66 days to habit. Research shows complex behaviors require constant repetition. Do it for 66. Oh, it takes 21 days to form a habit. It takes literally 18 months to rewire the body. 16 to 20 months, 18 months on average. But 66 days, you can begin to form positive habits. 365 days of opportunities. Each day represents a chance to reinforce your commitment. Rhythmic discipline establishes non-negotiable, write that down, non-negotiable self-appointments that anchor your highest priorities into daily life. The key principle is consistency over intensity. Consistency versus, I get so mad. No, consistency. Modest daily practice outperforms occasional heroic effort. Nest audios, soak frequencies, listening to binaural beats, align your nervous system, right? Your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. You got to get your nervous system in alignment. That's what's eating your lunch, is your nervous system. And then visionary discipline. Morning DMP. That's a daily thing. That's daily rhythmic, but that's to set up your visionary, your future self. Have a conversation with your future self. Hi, Sean G. Murphy. And so happy, excited now. It's December 31st, 2025. I have fully integrated into my life all of the things necessary to arrive at my $500,000 a year additional consulting program. And by doing such, I have achieved tremendous success in the following areas of personal development, personal undevelopment, in my author book writing. Right? Do you know your DMP? 10-year vision. What would your life be 10 years from now? I know the DMP focuses on 1 year. What do you want your daydream? Listen, you're going to think about crazy stuff. Why not think about stuff that could serve you? Nighttime reticular activation reset. Jim Rohn said, don't start your day till it's finished on paper. I have you ask 3 questions. What did I do well today? What talent, what might I have done a little better, right? What did I do well? What might I have improved upon today? And then number 3, what skill, talent, or resource do I need to come into my life tomorrow to help me move closer to my goal? You are literally sending a request out to the universe to be uploaded when you fall into sleep. That when you awaken, you're like, oh my gosh, I got an idea. the universe will respond to you based upon the requests you put out to it. If you're watching Netflix or social media and people doing silly stuff on Instagram or whatever, these reels, that's what your brain is focused on. That's why you wake up going, oh my gosh, I'm tired, I'm this, and I got to get to work again. And then legacy thinking, connecting daily actions to the ultimate impact. So if you were to ask somebody, you want to talk about novelty, hey, listen, I'm curious, what are some of your legacy thinking? What are some of your legacy thoughts? What does your legacy thinking sound like? They'll go, what? Nobody's been asked that question. They've heard about legacy. I want to leave a legacy. Well, if you want to leave a legacy, my question is what does your legacy thinking look like, sound like? Most people don't have an answer for that. This dimension of discipline requires regular immersion in your long-term vision through structured practices that make the future feel real. Right? Some of you, right? False evidence appeal real. Some of you, your stress feels so real, you wind up with disease in your body. And it's not real. When the mask drops, you act. When your purpose gasps for air, do you? Do you act when your purpose gasps for air, or do you let it just suffocate on the side of the road? Discipline isn't just about productivity. It is the life support system for your most meaningful goals. Without constant action, thought, your dreams can't survive, let alone thrive. The question becomes, will you respond to their need with the same urgency you would to physical danger? I'm going to let that sit there for just a moment. The question becomes, will you respond to the needs of your vision, the needs of your dreams, the needs of your biggest goals with the same urgency you would respond to the physical danger of your body? Fusion responds to what I do now. I respond to what doesn't scream. I train my awareness to notice important matters before they become urgent. I act on see, the babies were going to have, the mothers were getting ready to have babies. We want to put them in jugs. They call them jugs. Stalls for bigger animals, jugs because these are kind of small. You wouldn't put a regular sized animal in these things because sheep are smaller. And ours are even a little smaller because they're Shetland sheep, smaller sheep. So it would be urgent if you were to go out and get a sheep and bring it home and not have a fence. That's what happened with Gizmo. Gizmo was tied to a tree. I didn't plan on putting up 15 cattle panels and driving in T-poles that particular afternoon, but it was urgent because Gizmo was tied to a tree on a lead. Like a dog, he was tied out underneath a shade tree while I built his fence. That was urgent. I had to respond to, we got a sheep, build a fence. Now, the mamas are pregnant. We got to build these little stalls. You don't build them the day that mamas have babies. So it wasn't urgent to build the stalls when I built them. But I didn't want my future self running around like a cat with its tail on fire. Does that make sense? So how do you respond to what doesn't scream? I treat the future as if it were now. I collapse the psychological distance between present, and I can promise you, when Nola had her babies in the jug and they're in there safe and they're in there sound, I felt pretty proud to say, man, this is a nice little stall. This is a comfy stall. We had straw, she had water, she had food, she had all of the things necessary for her to be comfortable. But I had it done weeks before she needed it. I collapsed the psychological distance between the stall being ready and me not having it. I collapsed the feeling of, it'll be nice when I close the door and say, it's ready. I bring the future into my present awareness. I practice discipline because I remember what matters. My disciplined choices aren't based on willpower, but on a clear vision of what I truly value. I continuously reconnect with my core priorities to fuel constant, consistent action. that make sense? Integrated questions. Where am I under responding? Which areas of my life show a significant gap between their true importance? You may want to screenshot this picture. Again, it's in the video, it's in recording. We're at slide 16. We're almost done. Sorry, this is going over. Is this okay that it went over? Which area is
Yeah.
waiting for me? What aspect of my potential or responsibility is patiently waiting for me to recognize its importance? Think about this. You've got your 6 pillars: body, mind, family, finance, society, and faith. Which one of your areas is waiting for you? A lot of us would say finances, but it's not finances. We have to deal with society. We have to deal with people. We have to help to get them to visualize and overcome their normalization of absence. That's what you do when you want to talk to somebody about your business, about your product, about your service. You have to normalize the absence of the thing that you can provide. See, nobody teaches you how to have that conversation. First small step, what specific micro discipline could I implement today, right now, tomorrow, that would begin to shift my relationship with this important area? And cost of delay. What will be the actual consequences? Emotional, rational, relational, financial, health, wealth, if I delay addressing this area for one more year? Take a few minutes and honestly reflect on these questions. This would be a homework for you. This would be a success work for you, is answer these questions. Where am I under responding? What area is waiting for me? First small step to begin to access the process. And then what's the cost of delay if I don't do this for another year? Ready to rewire some of the responses, right? There's the NEST program. There's the Discipline Brain Audio Talk series. There's the Cognitive Codex. Each of these are designed to provide structured results. If you want to learn more about that, if you're watching the video, if you're saying, okay, first time getting introduced to Sean, I need to know more about this, reach out to me. You can find me on social media. You can leave a message in the chat, in the responses. You can leave a comment in the social media. So I appreciate you. I thank you. 90 days, new brain pattern begins to solidify with consistent practice. The next 90 days, consistent daily practice. Is 3 months of your life worth having the freedom for the rest of your life? 3 dimensions: micro, rhythmic, and visionary. We talked about those. Those are the 3 key areas. And this is your one life that you get to live. All right? So there's a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I think this ends now. And the most successful people aren't more talented. They're just better time travelers. Oh, snap. The most successful people aren't more talented. They're just better time travelers. Quote by
Bonus.
Sean G.
Bonus.
There you go. That's it, ladies and germs. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to now go into a little Q&A. Where did that go? Okay, so it stopped sharing the screen. Okay, good. Questions, comments, thoughts, biggest takeaway. What'd you learn? What'd you like? What'd you learn? What'd you like? Sorry, I went over 10 minutes. Not sorry, but biggest takeaways.
I will never look at discipline the same way I have before.
And listen, I know this is culturally and it might be systemic, but as a German, that's a huge thing. Irish would be like, well, I don't even know if we have discipline. We drink, we don't drink. But Germans, right? There's this perceived notion that because you're German, you're disciplined. Well, you have a level of discipline. And now that you've openly admitted that I'm going to change the way I look at things, so the things I look at change, that's huge. And I applaud you for that. Congratulations. That's a big
Thank
word.
you. Thank you very much for opening my mind to that, for teaching that this morning. I'm so grateful to you and I love you so much.
I love you so much. Thanks for coming with an open mind. That's 90% of the journey. So thanks. Who else? What'd you learn? What'd you like? What'd you take away? Take with you.
A quick takeaway for me is my discipline is a math problem.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I wrote that down and with a star because I went, okay. Similar to one time when we were having a chat, you were saying, ultimately, AI is just a math problem. everything is really just a math problem.
Yep.
It's basically simple.
And the challenge with math is that we want multiplication results when we're doing subtraction math.
Exactly. Exactly. I thank you for this so much, Sean.
You're welcome.
So much. It was a conversation I wanted to have with you, and here we are. We will continue. But this is awesome. This was just such a big bonus. Thank you.
It was pretty good. It felt good building it, because after 40 years of doing this and working on discipline, having been disciplined by my dad and trained by some of the best trainers on the planet, it's different when you do it, when you create the language, when you create the models. So based upon 5 years and over 2,000 hours of episodes of training, my understanding of discipline and the ability to present it in such a way that it's not threatening, but it's vitally important, because that's a difficult thing to do, non-threatening, but vitally important to get you to emotionally engage with it. So I thank you for that. And thank you for having the patience for me to take 40 years for me to get to this point, to be able to explain it decently. So
Worth the wait. I've just popped on,
I'll
in
get better.
2 years, you will, yeah, I felt like you really were in sync with me where I am right now and what's coming up. 21 days, that I didn't want that pressure, but it's how I look at it.
Yep.
It's just a perspective. And I say that as if it's really simple. It takes discipline to work on that perspective.
Yep.
I get it. I'm getting it. So love you. Happy sheeping.
Thank you. Thank you.
shepherd that you are. And AJ and I and Silka are all neighbors tree-wise. We're in the
Oh, I love it.
neighborhood. It's so fun because I feel like sometimes the trees are talking to each other. And
Oh, they do.
it's
Well,
awesome.
again, like Avatar, right? They're all connected in the root system.
Yep.
Their roots might not be connected, but they're all in the same ground, and they can send vibrations through the ground like whales can send through the water.
It's pretty awesome.
It is
It's
pretty awesome.
awesome.
I love it.
I love that
it
too.
And I love you.
I remember you guys saying that when I picked my tree, that you had to go all the way over to take the photo of your very large tree.
Yeah,
I
love it,
well,
love it, love it.
Silka, I'm so glad that I was part of that. Silka, go meet your tree. Go there. You've chosen it from the deck. Now go and stand by it. It's raining, I know, but anyway, I love that you love it, and I love that we're in the same neighborhood.
Love it.
I love that too.
Who else? Takeaways. Thank you, Silka. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you, Sean.
Hey, Roz.
You shook me really hard today. You know how you take a kid and you kind of shake them a little bit? Like, that's what I felt like. But my biggest takeaway was discipline is an act for my future self. That is like eye-opening. So thank you.
And so
Thank you.
here's the thing. A couple of you have mentioned that it's you're in service to your future self. It's not that is a new concept. It's a syntax of words that allow you to emotionally connect to the discomfort of transformation now, because we all want to be in service. That's one of the things as I started to do this. My major audience is female. A very brilliant brain that has been beat up and run through the ringer. In a nutshell. And service is where they get services. Being in service, being in sacrifice is where we get. That's where I'm in love with. So why not be in sacrifice to yourself for the first time? Why not for the first time and forever take care of you, but the future you, where you don't see it because you're okay with, I went and I helped them move. I hope that's okay. I went and brought them for lunch. I hope they like it. I went and did this. I hope they get better. We always sacrifice without seeing the results. Well, why not sacrifice to give some service and possibly see the results happen almost immediately in your own life? Talk about a brain explosion. or orgasm, depending upon how you see it. So, who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Big takeaway for me. I mean, the second part, yeah, I've learned a lot here too. But the big visual and the big, you got to be freaking kidding me, came when asking, or the thought of, what am I doing when my purpose gasps for air? I'm not giving it any oxygen. I'm letting it lay
Stepping on
down
its
and
throat. That gasping noise
Yep.
is annoying. Just crush it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was whatever angel whispered that in your ear to deliver. Thank you for obeying, because
I
that
told you that's why we had to have the setup, because I'm like, I'm going through this. I'm saying, and I know that the majority of the people that show up, if they've known me at all, they know I love them, but this is gonna hurt. How do
Oh.
I make sure it doesn't hurt, that they realize finally we can undo the chains of limitation, undo the burden of having to stay in this box.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is I'm black and blue.
But you got
Bruises are already presenting, but thank you for presenting the I love in your teaching how you present the problem, but you also give the solution. And I asked a question early on, okay, how are we going to undo these patterns? Or how can we undo these patterns? Can we undo these patterns? And when you presented, these ideas of responding to things when they're not screaming, look into the future and take care of it now. Don't wait. You said, we're trained to chase the urgency. There's no
Yeah, we
need for
don't.
that.
We wind up like an addict, like an addict. I don't feel like I'm doing anything unless it's an emergency. I'm responding to an emergency. Which, you ready for the upgrade?
Please.
Nobody comes to you when they're healthy.
Exactly. And
So what if part of your business was to say, hey, listen, I'm tired of dealing with people in crisis. I'm good at it. I am your ER. I am your get yourself out of death's doorstep. But I'm tired of standing next to death's doorsteps. I want to start fixing healthy people get better.
Well, I understand how my nervous system is, the impact to my nervous system.
And you're trained to deal with they're only one person sick.
Yeah.
You know why it's so hard for people in network marketing to go, because they're one person broke dealing with lots of people broke, and they can't deal with the lots of people broke because they can't even get out of their own brokenness. So their disease collapses into theirs. And that's why 98% of the people never make a check more than $500. Because it's not about the riches of the program, it's about the riches of the community. And when you start to talk about community and energy and harmony, you can now begin to believe that, right? The reason that you come here is because this is a healthy environment. You're working on getting people healthy all the time. Well, nobody's healing Heather. You got all the tools to heal Heather, but Heather, there's psychic income and monetary income. And so many people are bankrupt on their psychic income that they scroll in social media for every 6 seconds to try to get their dopamine hit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking to me this morning. Thank you. Thank you.
Rock'em sock'em robot. Love it. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Want to comment. When you first started the call and you said, okay, I don't know how you said it, but something like we might get beat up or whatever, like, so I just kind of cringed and sighed a little bit. But I'm like, okay, Ruth, you're here. It's okay, you can do this. And then as it went on, and then the ahas we had and the bonuses or whatever, but the biggest one is the one that everybody's mentioned about. Well, everybody's mentioned it, but I took it a slightly different way. I wrote down that I have to love myself enough to do my discipline for my future self. So I have to love me enough to do that. And I do that for everybody else. And I just don't do that great of a job for me.
Which is
no-
why moms, right? This is why I could say this. It's almost unfair for a guy, right? I've been called a woman many times because of my emotional state. But for a guy to go talk to women to present this and not have my throat slit because all I need is one more guy telling me what to do. I'm offering you the place where you're at, the hot water you're in, like the frog, it's beginning to boil. It's time to get out if you want. And I hope my voice and my passion and my energy comes across as it's okay for you to have better. If you want it, I'll throw you the rope. I'm strong enough to help pull you out. You got to be able to hold on to your side. But when you say you get to love you, that's not a decision. I didn't tell you to love you. I'm saying it's okay. You can go to just put it in a way that may. So if I do this, if I get down to 210 pounds, you know what that does for my grandchildren? I'm at 210 pounds. I am preparing myself to be able to play and go run and have fun with my grandbabies. Well, is Mason married? When did he get? He's not married. This is my future self.
Yes.
And part of that is time will make you look at your future self real quick because you don't have that far down the road to look. Right?
So, and when you just said to Heather, or maybe it's in the conversation just now about it's okay to take care of you.
Yeah,
is what I got from it.
I'm not telling you should
That's-
take care of you, right? Because that's what we've told everybody else. I'm saying I'm offering you a presentation that says, "Oh, no, nobody said it was okay," and if I can be in service to my future self, so it's kind of linguistic programming. I want to be in service. Well, why not? Is it okay if you be in service to your future self?
I like, what? Brilliant.
Yeah, because you give to everybody else. Is it okay for you to see the benefits of you helping your future self? Because we love the recognition when somebody comes back and goes, "Oh, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore." Oh, you're welcome. Well, it was nothing. Something huge. Is it okay if we do a little bit more nothing for ourselves to see the huge benefits of the result of it was easy?
So I also want to share when you said that you've been called a woman before. There are many times you've said things I'm like, he is so spot on. He talks like he's a woman.
Exactly. That's my point.
I'm like, he knows. It just amazes me all the time when that happens.
Well, for 20 years, my major audience, right? Network marketing, from building an audience, building a community. And you get really emotionally charged when you go into cultural outside of the American, I'm going to wear the mask. So my first real big experience was going into Europe, going into Italy, dealing with Italian women, powerfully strong, but stereotypical, right? So Italian women, Slovenian women, strong as oxes, bulls, just tough, but could snap them with a twig. Also close to the proverbial straw that will break their back, but they have pushed and they have struggled. Sitting in Ljubljana in Slovenia, and they're celebrating their Independence Day, their equivalent of our 4th of July. I go, oh my gosh, how long has it been? It hit me hard when they said 14 years we've been independent. I'm like, wait a second. Are you freaking kidding me? And so it's midnight. They're celebrating independence. I kind of made them sit. I said, tell me what it was like before then, going to the basements of other kids' homes to have classes and trainings. I can't even begin to imagine 14 years of independence, which then remind me I'm sitting across from people who haven't had 1 year of independence in their dreams. They've been, look at yourself, myself. I started at the age of 14. I said, my independence begins today. I will never have another bad day. My independence began at 14. Most people have been so masked their independence that they wouldn't even know it if it showed up. So I had to come up with language. I had to understand brain talk and all of this stuff. So the reason I'm good at speaking woman is because that's the audience that's trained me most. It's the audience that raised their hand, and I would have the patience to listen for them to teach me, for them to train me, to communicate with them, not to delegate and discipline and say, you should. I used to. That cost me $80,000 my first year in my business. Because I thought I was teaching them sales. No, I'm teaching you be a good human. First and foremost to the one in the mirror.
Yeah.
So
That humans me more, right? So I
Yep.
get it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways.
This is Jane.
Hey, Jane.
I really liked the first part because I could relate it to what I went through when I lost my house.
Yep.
And I'm moving forward, and I've been very disciplined in what I needed to do. Now I need to work on, I realize, more on myself, not so much on the external living life.
Yep.
And so I'm open to all kinds of suggestions and help, even if we have to go on an individual.
Sure. Well, the key is that, so why does a doctor begin to down level somebody's prescription?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm on 40 milligrams of blood pressure. Just say it's 40 milligrams. All of a sudden I call the doctor going, oh my gosh, I've lost all this weight, but I'm always feel weak. It's because the blood pressure medication was designed to help the body when it was at a certain weight and certain problems and resistance in the body. They weren't doing exercise and this, that, or the other. So the blood medication is over delivering based upon where the body's at, right?
Right.
So they start to down regulate them. They go from 40 to 30. Let's try that. Oh, that's much better. Woo! Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had a prescription that you had self-administered for dealing with crisis to get through the external world that you had to get to an end result. You're now arriving at that end result. You now need to upgrade or transition or transform your prescription.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I'm saying now start to take the prescription going, what would my internal? Sometimes there's people who have psoriasis. It shows up externally, but they take a pill that goes internally to help them with the external visual.
Okay.
So what would be the internal that you could take that could help you focus on where you're currently at? You need to, your prescription is changing. You've mentioned it saying, I was on the external, I need to now focus some on the internal. It could be, listen, I know as crazy as it sounds, walking 10 minutes a day. Just walking 10 minutes a day. I know your knee hurts. Maybe it's doing arm raises. The internal requires physiology.
Okay.
It could be, listen, all I can do is move my neck. Okay, so do 10 circles this way, do 10 circles. Move your body.
Okay.
And that'll be the huge, biggest step, because that creates endorphins, that creates the dopamine, that creates the thing that creates the discipline, right? Go get a little hand thing, and where you can go get a squeeze ball and just squeeze it and say, I'm doing this to build up my strength externally and internally. Go take rubber bands, put some rubber bands on your fingers and try to expand them this way. It's just physiology is where you need to be focused now, because you've had a physical challenge with your knee and some things. So you need to move the rest of your body, because the rest of your body is movable. You may not be able to go run a marathon, but move the things that you can. Right?
Yes.
And so when you do that, you go, oh, look at the tone. I'm getting some tone in these. I'm getting my guns back, right? I have BB guns, but I'm saying you can, right, work on your shoulders, see where your maximum mobility is, and look to stretch. I know that's what old people do. No, that's what many people should do, because if they move their body, they'd have a better body, period.
Right.
So that would be my first suggestion. And as you do that, your brain clears up, your fog clears up. You start to have a better relationship with yourself, and you're not self-inflicting wounds and beating yourself up going, I was so stupid. I can't take care of that body. Look in the body and go, I'm too sexy for my body. I'm too sexy, right? And that laugh will change everything.
Right. Thank you.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions. Thank you for your time today. And again, this will be up on YouTube soon as it uploads. It's already there. Okay. I'm your head brain training, disciplining yourself through more love and compassion. I'll see y'all where?
Next
At the
event.
next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We
vida.
love you, Mark. And some Lydia.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us.
all. And the queen of helping discipline move throughout the world, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss lady.
Lee, we love you, girl. And a little bit of discipline of white, fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
Gurgly. All right, everybody, go have some fun. We will see you on Monday. Thanks,
Love
everybody.
you guys.
Love you.
Love
Thank
you
Thank
you.
you all. Have a great day. Thank you, Sean.